Hello, you all. I'm so sorry that we didn't get to meet each other yesterday. I miss seeing all of your little smiley faces. Hope this works for now and that it doesn't have to be too much longer. So let's just go ahead and go right into our timeline to get it done. We have, you can look and see what pictures you like. Isaiah really liked this one for some reason. But we have World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. So we have World War II, just like World War I, and then we have F, like our little feather fingers, D is a D, and R, the crossed one. So we have an FDR. Stalin of the USSR and the Katyn massacre. Stalin of the USSR. Stalin has a very big mustache. You can see a very big mustache, maybe. And so that's how we do for Stalin. And then the Katyn massacre is to kill, like this. And then a massacre is lots of people, so it's like that, like a massacre, like a lot of people. The United Nations formed. We just unite our fingers like this, whatever way you want to unite our fingers. And the Cold War. And you're going to be cold and then the war, although there's not a lot of time for both of those. But, oh no, there is. It's in the history song. That's not a lot of time. The Gandhi and India's independence. So we have Gandhi with a G, our little G finger, and India's independence. So you're going to make your S's and do it like this is saved or liberty or freedom or things like that. So independence. Then you have Jewish state established. So we make a Jewish, the beard for Jewish, then an S again, and then this is a sign for state. Don't know why. State established. And then Mao and the communist victory in China. So we know, I could do M fingers and for your communist, but we're going to do communist victory and our typical China, what we do every time, the buttons on the shirt. So let's go ahead and do this. It all stopped on me. Okay, let me see. I'm going to put this here. That's way too light. Sorry. Here we go. Sorry. One more time. Okay, there you go, timeline. All right, let's go ahead and do our math. The associative law for addition states, open parentheses, A plus B, close parentheses, plus C equals A plus, open parentheses, B plus C, close parentheses. And the associative law for multiplication states, open parentheses, A times B, close parentheses, times C equals A times, open parentheses, B times C, close parentheses. Quite the tongue twister. So what we were going to do, a couple ideas that we were going to have is I was going to do little puzzles with just my little cards. They're going to do it on the floor. Or if they need to really move around, I was going to have like a kid be A and a kid be B and two kids be our parentheses. And then they were going to hold them and we were going to kind of and then A would stand here. And then our plus sign was going to stand here. And then our B was going to go and then they'd kind of like circle around. And then we'd have our little equal sign in the middle that would stay there. And then all the other ones would move. Because it's the same thing for both multiplication and division. We were also, these are just a piece of paper cut up and written on, but we were also going to, if we needed to move, we were going to do that, or we were going to just put it on the ground. Just do it one time as we repeated it, and then the second time as we're doing this song, we would just point to it. So a couple different options that we we're going to kind of play with if we'd met. So a couple things for this. We could do a little chant that I found this later, that it goes, the associative law, the associative law, the associative law, for addition. And then you do, this is the part I like it goes A plus B plus C equals A plus B plus C, having your clapping B or parentheses, because that's hard to say. So that was another just kind of emphasizing it. But in the associative law for multiplication states A times B times C equals A times B times C, that type of thing. Also have a song. So to do Lord, the do Lord, oh do Lord. So this is the associative law for addition states, open parentheses, A plus B, close parentheses, plus C equals A plus, open parentheses, B plus C, close parentheses. And then the associative law for multiplication states, open parentheses, A times B, close parentheses, times C equals A times open parentheses, B plus C plus times C, close parentheses. Lots of words, but there's a song for that as well. Okay, let's go ahead and do science. What is the third law of thermodynamics? The third law of thermodynamics explains that it is impossible to reach the state of absolute zero. So, what is the third law of thermodynamics? The third law, and then we do thermodynamics because it's with temperature, heat. Of thermodynamics says that it is impossible to reach, just reach out, the state of absolute zero temperature, and just like a thermometer thing. So the third law of thermodynamics explains that it is impossible to reach the state of absolute zero temperature. And at the end of this, I was going to have them like do something like some crazy Frozen thing, because nothing happens at absolute zero. So then they were going to freeze, like nothing happens. So you could freeze it like an animal, or you could freeze as I don't know, any kind of thing, silly face, So it would be the third law of thermodynamics explains that it is impossible to reach the state of absolute zero temperature and then freeze for a little bit. And then say it again. Third law of thermodynamics explains that, then do some other little weird thing, freeze, because nothing happens. Okay, history. Tell me about the end of the Cold War. In the 1980s, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, so we're going to do in the 1980s, British, drink our tea like normal for British, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, and we're going to do like thatching a roof, like Thatcher like this. I found that the most, if you did a lot of movements, was best. And American presidents, so here's our presidents, Ronald Reagan, we're going to do Reagan, and you can shoot it, worked together to end the Cold War, just be cold, lessen big government, and strengthen the conservative movement. So just do whatever movement you want, because it's the grooviest tune, and it will just works to movement. So let me get you that one. Sorry.
Week 21. Tell me about the end of the Cold War. In the 1980s, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and American President Ronald Reagan worked together to end the Cold War, lessen big government, and strengthen the conservative movement.
And there we go. Back to childhood. All right. A conjunction, English, a conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses. So a conjunction, what is a conjunction? A conjunction is a word used to connect words, phrases, or clauses. And so we're going to do a song for this that's going to can do both of the weeks so that we're throwing in all of our conjunctions. So this week is actually to Father Abraham. So we were just going to do Father Abraham, just like right arm and then just, or left arm, and then just keep doing that for a while for the first time and do the song over and over again just to